Welcome to Future Role Model, a podcast that praises being unconventional and redefines what it means to be a role model, good, bad, and ugly. And today I have in studio one of my favorite humans. Everybody's my favorite human, by the way. Rell Battle.
You tell that to all the guys.
I kind of do.
I don't feel special.
You know what? This is what I do say about my podcast, though. I don't have shitty humans on this.
Okay.
So if you fall in that category of being a guest, then I have put my personal stamp of human approval on you.
I'm glad you approve of me. You should talk to my mom.
Your mom has some issues. He's got a twin brother, so she's got options. She can switch between the two.
She's like 1 out of 2 ain't bad. That's 50-50 chances.
We were sitting in the back because we've been hanging out for like a half hour, kind of catching up on life in the green room in the back, and we can't figure out when we first met. When do you think that was?
It had to, I'm sure it was in the club because I knew you when we hung out the most when we did a sketch together for Commuters, this project that I used to do. Yeah. But I knew who you were. Yeah. So we had to meet before then because Luke had a better relationship with you.
Luke did, yeah, because I worked with Luke all the time. By in the club, he means in the comedy store, in the comedy club, not like out.
I don't know if people know the lingo.
As comics, our in the club is way less cool than like 50 cents. 50 cents? I said 50 cents. That means I'm white enough. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we did do a sketch for Commuters. Talk about Commuters a bit.
Commuters was a sketch, pretty much myself, a guy named Luke Curry, a comedian, and a guy named Dave Rowe, director. We do a full web series sketch show, pretty much in the car. So that's our parameters, our boundaries are in the car. We try to figure out if we can make the funniest thing possible within a car. And Natasha came in for this sketch we call Party Girl. You can go see it. I won't talk about it, but you can go see it.
It's one of my favorite things I've shot.
I mean, it was her Meryl Streep, baby. She gave her all and we had a good time. So, but that's when we first really hung out.
Yeah, it was because I think Luke and you had talked about, they were like, who would be willing to pretend to be a really wasted person from the office? Because I was pretending to be one of their coworkers and I had like apparently had a bender in my Halloween costume and I showed up and they were like, let's all just improvise. And I was like, oh, that's fucking great.
Yeah, let's
like,
figure it out.
It's so much more fun though, honestly. Like if it's really freeing to be on sets or in groups of people that are fine with improvising because that's why that episode was so much fun.
Comedy's in the editing, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, they say a movie or anything is made the 3 times when you write it. What did I just hear the other day? It was really cool. It's you write the movie you want to shoot, you shoot the movie you can afford, and you edit what you fucking get.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
So something's made 3 times. So whether it's a TV show or a movie or whatever, the end product isn't always what you expected. But I feel like you are kind of the person that's always been ahead of your time.
Really?
I love that you laugh at that.
Okay.
But here's what I mean by that. Yeah. Because I moved to LA and did not have any idea really what web series were. I did a little blurb in a web series in Chicago and I was like, what are web series? And you guys had one and I feel like it did really well. And even with shows that you're pitching now, I feel like you're onto something that in a couple of years people are going to be like, oh, that was really fucking
Well, I see what you're saying. Well, what it is I couldn't get nobody was checking. To be honest, nobody was really checking for me. Like I wasn't getting the top 10 comic this, and I wasn't getting the big agency this and that. So I was like, well, listen, man, I know a bunch of filmmakers, I know a bunch of writers, a bunch of comedians, a bunch of actors. Let's just do it. You guys want? I know all these guys who had cameras who just want to shoot stuff, and they've been begging to shoot stuff. And I know writers who want to write. So all it really takes, who's going to be the ringmaster, the puffy, or the person that just puts it together? And that's literally all I did. Yeah. You start shooting stuff, and then you put it out, and hopefully get some kind of attention that can garner it. Move on to the next step. So, but you'd be surprised how many people just can't organize things. Yeah. In this city.
Yeah. I know. We were just talking about that in the back, how I'm like doing that with some women in comedy right now. And
that's dope.
All it really takes is reaching out to people because you'd be surprised how many people just want to do shit. Yeah. Or just willing to like keep their talents exercised. Everything's a muscle. So you always have to be like working it. I don't know how to explain that, but I feel like you and I have both had equal frustrations over the years just because this business is so trying. And I know that you Well, first of all, we run into each other at the gym all the time.
Yeah. I don't even see you in the club.
So as much as we're flexing our comedy muscles, we are flexing our actual muscles too.
Yeah, you gotta stay in shape. Gotta stay healthy.
But I know that it's been definitely a long slog for you because you shot, I don't know if you can say the name of it or anything, but the Comedy Central piece that you did.
Roast Battle?
No. Roast Battle, of course. We'll talk about Roast Battle in a few. The latest.
Oh, the Black Twitter thing.
Yeah, I didn't know if you could say the name. I don't know if you could say the name of it or not.
What?
Yeah, Roast Battle.
You been watching on TV?
People know about Roast Battle, but we'll get to that. But the latest one, because I did a little sketch for it. Dana Moon did a little sketch, and I came to see her live.
Your sketch didn't make the thing. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. I've ended up on many editing cutting room floor, and you know what?
You did a great job. Did I ever show it to you?
No. I want to see the footage.
I'll let you see it.
This is my second time playing a cop for you, but one was a slutty cop, and one was a real cop.
You got a real cop demeanor.
Look, I wanted to do a reel of cop and just show people my versatility.
It did make the cut to the final. I shot a pilot presentation for Comedy Central, and that sketch didn't make the final cut because it was like it didn't fit in the lane of what we were trying to do. It was like this. We're going in one place. Next thing you know, it's this random sketch.
Yeah.
So it just kinda,
what you chose for the live show was perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was such a good presentation of what you had described the show to be as a whole.
Thank you.
You hosted it immaculately. No, you really did. I mean, you crushed it. And so this is the thing, though. I mean, what a lot of people don't realize is you go through all these steps to get a network to even pay attention to you. And then when they pay attention to you, you have to shoot something to make them believe that you could actually be a showrunner.
It used to be like you had an idea and they would kind of shoot it. They had money back in the day. Now it's like you have an idea. We want to see what you call it, like a little map of some sort, a deck, what they call it. Once you get the deck, we want to see it online. Once you see it online, we want to see a pilot presentation. We see a pilot teacher. We want to see the pilot. After the pilot, we want to shoot a series, but we want to shoot the pilot over. So it's a step-by-step basis. Even with, I did a show called Superior. No, that's on CBS. You guys didn't watch it, so, because I'm not on it anymore. But even with that, we had to shoot 2 pilots to get to the series.
Yeah.
So people kind of don't want to take as many chances anymore. And I understand there's so many different, it's Netflix, it's Yahoo. I mean, not Yahoo,
there's so much available now that it's like if something doesn't hit immediately, they just trash it, which is sad.
So it's one of those things where you kind of, HBO is one of the few people, HBO and I think Netflix, they just go.
Yeah, and FX and
FX too. So it takes a process, and so we're going through that process right now, and hopefully we get to
the
promise.
The whole thing is keeping your head up in this game because man, you see. I was just talking to my Uber driver about this last night.
Of course,
but
who else do you want to speak to about personal issues in your mind?
It's like your therapy.
Mikhail from
this is why you
Yugoslavia driving Uber.
Exactly. You don't have to pay for shit here in LA when you have Uber. You just talk to everybody. Mm-hmm. But usually Uber drivers, it's like what they're doing is their second job as well. Mm-hmm. It's like a screenwriter, an actor, like somebody. And it's tough because when you make a series and it gets all this way with a network, they kind of have a lot of rights to something. And then, if they don't want to use it, then it has to be shelved for a number of years before you're able to take it back out to anybody else. And by then, a lot of times the topic has kind of, fallen away.
Yeah.
And so it's, as they say, killing your babies. You do it all the time. Like when you're a creator, you have to say goodbye to these worlds you created all the fucking time.
Roast Battle was probably my 10th idea.
Let's talk about how did you come to that space? How did you find your way with Roast Battle?
Well, we were just trying to create some kind of energy. Like I used to go up to the Belly Room. The Belly Room would have shows on Tuesday nights, and the mic would just be up there on. They'd keep the mic on to like 2, and the shows would be over at like 8. Mm-hmm. So I used to go up to the Belly Room and just rehearse my set by myself. I just like hearing me on the mic.
Yeah.
I was there for hours every day working on my set, and then people start coming in, and I would work on my set with them, and they work on their set with me, and then slowly but surely it became a hang, and it became an open mic.
Yeah.
And then it was just like 20, 30 comics just being there every Tuesday night doing open mic, kicking it, no real structure. And then we saw that energy. We said, this needs to be something, and then 2 comics wanted to fight. We said, let's roast, and I just started roasting them. It was just a room for me to talk shit.
Yeah.
First up here,
yeah, of course.
And it became the Rell Battle, and then I saw that people kept coming, so I was like, we got to organize this into a real thing. And that happened, and then we put some structure on it, some rules. And,
you got Ross behind it.
Ross came in like 4 or 5 months. It was already popping, and when it was already popping, Ross said this could be a show. We were always trying to make it a show, but we knew that we added his name to it, it could kind of like, we knew we can get a show anyway, but adding his name, we knew it would be like, it's kind of undeniable.
Yeah, because he's known for roast.
He's a roast master. And then, you know, everybody started coming, and that's when all the people come in, and they all want a piece of it. And then we finally settled with Comedy Central, and we got our deal, and we got it structured, and, you know, it's on its 3rd season now, and, you know, it's not super popular, but it's good enough.
Yeah. I would say, like, people are proud. Like, it's a great credit for comics. Like, if you've done the roast battle.
A lot of comics who've never done TV do it. I have a New York version of the show. There's an LA version of the show. At one point, I had a San Francisco, Toronto. I had 5 roast battles. Boston, I had 5 in the country at one point.
Damn.
And then, and that was a great little run. We've toured with it. I've toured with it. I've done festivals. So it was a good little place setter.
It's for sure served its purpose and had been successful already.
I've been able to get out of it what I needed to get out of it, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's still running,
Yeah. What do you see happening with it? I mean, do you see anything more happening with it? Or have you kind of just like...
I kind of like, I haven't really dealt with Rose Battle in a couple of years. I have a New York show I go to. I host once a year when I go the 1 year anniversary, usually, or the year anniversary.
Yeah.
But I haven't really dealt with Rose Battle too much in a while. So you kind of, you know, you flip a house, you sell it, and you move on.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
What do you think? What do you think you got in store coming up? I mean, you have a few other shows you're pitching right now? Or?
I'm always pitching shows. Man.
I know.
Like I said,
your
I'm
brain
just,
works wonders.
That, and I'm just like I said, I'm never really. People don't really give me stuff. Like, you're the guy to give stuff to. So I'm just used to creating my own stuff and pitching it and hoping that somebody picks it up. So I just, you know, I'm constantly inspired. It's always a new idea. I've learned formatting better. I've learned the other side of the business more now.
Yeah.
How to get things pitched or picked up.
Yeah.
And
how to budget out.
How to budget. I've learned that. I didn't want to, but you have to learn that. And
you do.
If they're not giving you opportunities, you got to create your own.
Exactly.
And I've been living off of failed pilots. I've been eating good off failed pilots, baby.
Dude, hey, I mean...
People say failure's bad. Who to who?
Failing is excellent, and that's what this podcast is all the fuck about.
Failing is relative.
Failing matters, and it does pay you sometimes.
Yeah.
So let's start at the beginning, man. You have a twin. Mm-hmm. Is there a reason you went into entertainment? And I don't remember what he does.
He kind of does entertainment too.
Kind of?
Yeah, he's
in Atlanta though, correct?
Terrence is a businessman, so he's in the management business. So if that's film, if that's music, if that's promotions, he's there.
He's kind of got his hands in a lot of things.
He's more of a money guy. He's into that. He real estate business. He's in the business. So if a company, if he wants to flip a house, he'll do that tomorrow. So he's just a business guy, but he's dabbling in the music as well.
Yeah.
I never was that kind of guy. I was always creating.
That kind of happens a lot with twins, I feel like, where one kind of gets all of this side of the brain and one gets the other.
You know what it was? I think it was, I talk about this a lot. I think my brother was really athletic. We were both very athletic kids. We grew up super athletic. And Terrence just took to it. He was better. He just went to it. And I think subconsciously, a way to kind of separate myself from my twin, because twins dress alike, be like, I just developed, I guess, funny.
Yeah.
It was something I was kind of natural at. So I developed funny and writing, and that I kind of took to that. So in high school, when he played more sports, I joined the journalism club, and I did, wrote for the school paper and kind of switched off in high school.
Is there a time where you kind of were like, oh shit, maybe I could go down this path as a career? Like in high school, do you have like a prominent...
Not comedy, but writing, definitely.
Writing, yeah.
In high school, I told the story. You could sign up for your classes for the next year, in like end of the previous year, whatever.
Right.
And I signed up for a journalism class. I didn't know this, but you could only be a junior to be in journalism class. I was a sophomore, so I signed up. Whatever. The next year, they put me in the journalism program. And they found out I was a sophomore, so it takes 2 weeks when the year starts, a school year in my school, to move you to your right class, whatever, if that happens.
If they need to shuffle, yeah.
So within that 2 weeks, I had a teacher named Mr. Taylor, and this also gets into the topic of the show, role models.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Taylor was like the only white teacher at the school, and he says, very flamboyant gay man. He said, if you're going to be in this class for 2 weeks, I know you're going to leave, but you're still going to do the work. That's what he told me. And I knew I was leaving, but he said, you're still going to do the work. So with that in mind, I had to write articles. So I just wrote what I thought was funny or interesting. And I just wrote some stupid thing for the work because I was going to be leaving anyway.
Sure. And
it ended up being, he felt like it was rough, but he felt like this is funny. So he lobbied for me to stay in that class as a sophomore.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
And then I became the editor of the humor page. So I wrote all the humor articles for the humor page.
That's so cool.
Of the school paper. And that's when I was like, oh, I might have a skill here.
This could be a thing.
This could be a thing.
Yeah.
And then everything grew from that. Was like, well, and then people started buying it, and people were like, yo, you're funny. And it was just like, okay, maybe this is. That's when I feel like I was a funny guy before, but everybody was funny where I'm from.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Everybody was joking. I was good at roasting people.
All your friends just give each other shit.
I was known for that in the school, but everybody did that.
Yeah.
This was the first time I was like, oh no, you can write and people kind of react to it.
Yeah.
Different from just talking jokes. Look at your mother's head than the writing articles of humor. And that's when the first time I was like, oh. And I was the only sophomore in there. And he gave me the whole page to run. So I was just like, maybe this is something.
Yeah, that's massive.
I think that sparked everything I'm doing now.
What did you do next after high school? Like, what did you do with that?
I went to. I just wanted to write for the Source. Source magazine was everything for me. Hip hop magazine, Hadari Choker. The great writers of the day, Sway. You ever see Sway on the TV? I wanted to be those guys. The guy named Big Tigger, who was like a local radio DJ. I just wanted to do radio, talk about hip hop, and write hip hop. So I went to the University of Maryland with a journalism degree, and I was going to be a journalist. I was going to write for a hip hop magazine. That's all I wanted to do. I wrote hip hop articles, high school. That's all I wanted to do. I realized that journalism was more than just writing hip hop articles. It was writing full on, dissertations, 35 pages. Cited resources.
You have to be so knowledgeable too, especially in music, if you're going to write in that.
Perfect grammar.
Yes.
Stuff that I just wasn't prepared for. So somewhere in my freshman, sophomore year, I switched over to communications, which allowed me to just write for fun. And then I had to get extra credits. So I just started taking theater classes because it was like I feel like I could do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like for a lot of my friends, a lot of people that I've had on this podcast, it's been kind of a similar trajectory because I was kind of similar too. Like we didn't have like theater kids in my school weren't like the coolest per se.
Not at all.
Like it was its own separate thing. It wasn't like Tisch or growing up in like LA or New York where if you were in theater, you were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like that. And so we just had people that would kind of secretly do stuff. Like I didn't secretly, but like, I mean, I was part of.
I'm gonna be honest, man, because I come from a very aggressive area. So it was the gay kids, and you couldn't be gay back then. And before we understood, we were just young, stupid kids, and it was a different time. So we was like, that's the gay kids do that, and I didn't want to be associated. I was young and dumb and didn't know any better.
Right.
And so I'm in the theater program, and then it actually taught me these people just like everybody else. But when you're 15 years old from a very homophobic black area, you don't know.
You don't know that's.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't even think about it. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, I just can't be that.
Now,
that's just not for me.
Kids grow up and it's not even a thing. But when I was in college, we were in school, it was just different. So theater helped me break out of those norms to not have to be this tough guy or aggressive because of where I'm from and to be free. And then we're in class wearing tights and doing Shakespeare.
Acting like a tree.
We're a tree and we're meditating. This whole world I had never experienced that opened to me. And, working in scenes with white kids who I didn't know, with gay kids who I didn't know, with black kids who weren't from traditional stereotypical black areas. And it definitely opened my world up to theater, and I grew a love for theater. And that also, because I had to leave journalism, gave me another step toward what I'm doing now. Yeah,
it showed you another window. Because that's the thing I've talked about with a lot of people is like, if you find that a category works for you, it's okay to keep trucking in that category until you find like the lane in which you fit. Yeah. Like you could really love comedy. Like that was kind of like Apatow's thing. He like loved comedy, but couldn't but stand-up was, and he was so young, like stand-up wasn't his thing. So he interviewed people and he hung out with, you can kind of.
You know what's funny? This is crazy. I'm
it cut me off all day.
I had a radio comedy show. Radio hip hop show with PMD, who's Peter Rosenberg, who's on Hot 97 now in New York. We had a radio show in college hip hop. We interviewed Judd Apatow.
Fuck.
When he was doing Freaks and Geeks.
No way.
Right?
Oh my God.
And he was telling us a story about how he first interviewed Seinfeld and blah, 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 blah.
That story is so cool.
And how he was on the college radio.
Yeah.
At the time, I was thinking about comedy, right? I'm hearing this guy like, true, but you're doing a show called Freaks. What's he gonna? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't think.
What's he really gonna do?
This before he was, you know what I mean? And I remember being this young little freshman or whatever, like, okay, Freaks and Geeks, never seen it, never heard of Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how, I got this show called Freaks and Geeks, blah, 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 blah. And we interviewed this dude, man, and that just goes to show. And so now that I'm trying to get to places where he's obviously gone producing-wise. It's like, I remember those days, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Dude, that's so crazy. Have you ever run into him out on the circuit and told him that?
Actually, you know what? I met him, I did South by Southwest, and I met him there, but I never brought it up.
Oh, shit, you should. You should someday, but save it for like... Save it for when he's on the roast battle or something.
If he actually hosted it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
If he ever cast me for a project, then I'll be like, yo, I called you.
You mean when he cast you for a project? We positive speak around here. Exactly. Mm-hmm. No, I always talk about that too, because there wasn't the option for like comedy or theater really in my high school, but I had speech class. Mm-hmm. And so also I had a teacher, I feel like teachers are more of a role model than we give them credit for. They're super underrated. Yeah. Because the teacher like opens you up to this world and then you kind of find a path from there. Because mine was speeches and I didn't ever think I would enjoy public speaking because most people are so terrified of it. But I remember going into this class the first day, and she made everybody put on a cowboy hat and sing and dance around the room to the song, Well, I went down to the Grundy County auction. It's like that country song that's like, and I said, hey, bitty baby, won't you give me a sign? I'd give everything. You heard that song? Yeah. It's like super old, but I'm super dating myself. And she made everybody get up and dance around the room singing that song. Yeah. And by the 15th person, everybody's like, well, I don't fucking care about doing this anymore. 15 other people just did it. And it was really eye-opening to see
good.
Like...
It's good. I'm always surprised when people say this is the scariest thing more than death. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Because we don't even think about it at this point. We don't comment long enough. It's like, oh, I'm up next. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I guess when we first started, it might have been like death. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now it's like, this is the scariest thing in the world.
I was just saying that the other night about, because, some people ask you about comedy and you're in a mood to kind of talk about it. And some people ask you about it and you're like, I don't want to talk about that. Mm-hmm. But I was being asked about the worst time I ever bombed. And I've talked about it before on here. I've definitely opened up about it when I played in the Bible Belt. Ooh. And when it was back when my material was dirty, and they just weren't having me. And I bombed for like 30 minutes straight. Yeah. I mean, which is gut wrenching. Mm-hmm. Like if you bomb that long, it's like that's the most pain you'll ever feel. And I'm talking worse than like cutting your finger, man. Yeah. And when you get through that. And that's what I always tell the comics that are coming up. I'm like, when you get through that, when you get through the worst bomb that you'll ever have, you will never bomb that bad again. You won't. Because you'll figure out how to not. Yeah. And 2, you're not scared of anything. You're not. I used to tell myself when I used to bomb, I still bomb, but I go, when you bomb, you're going to take that, you're going to get off stage, you're going to walk through the crowd. And I need to feel every eye, every... ignore every look, I need to feel that. I need to feel that pain. So when that pain cuts you so deep, it's going to get to a point where you're going to become numb to it. And it worked for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I used to hide and go run away. Dude.
Like, no, I used to feel that pain.
Yeah, slink into the back of the audience and just leave before anybody has a chance to say hi or bye to you.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
what would you say is the worst bomb that you have had to date?
The worst bomb I've had to date. The worst bomb I've had today. I was doing this thing. Jamie Foxx had a festival called Laugh-A-Palooza.
Oh yeah. A
long time ago in Atlanta, and Lil Rell was actually the host of it. It's a while ago, and I was only doing comedy maybe 8 months. I shouldn't have been there. I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. But I had a fire ass 5. You know what I mean? And so this is how old this shit was. Facebook wasn't really out yet. Was it Facebook? One of the social media sites wasn't really
popular.
Probably
Instagram.
One of them wasn't popular outside of LA. Yeah. Right? And it was like, because LA gets everything first, LA, New York. Mm-hmm. This was in Atlanta. Yeah. So I did this joke, like, if you follow me on Instagram or something, some stupid, bitch, we together. Like some dumb hack joke, right? Mm-hmm. If you follow me, we together, right? Yeah. And it used to kill in LA. This was my closer, right? Yeah. And they didn't have the site yet, so they were just like, "The fuck is Instagram?" So it wasn't even like
it wasn't your fault.
It was my fault.
Yeah, I mean, it was your fault, but I mean,
they didn't boo. They was like,
they just didn't get it.
And then it was on the phone. They was like this talking. I wasn't even there, and the booing, at least they're listening. They don't like what they hear. This was like you aren't even good enough to pay attention to. And I bombed. And I remember walking through the back where the comics were, and every comic just turned their head and was like this. Like, people didn't even look at me when I walked off. You know what I'm saying? So like, they're like, you ain't gonna make it. And I remember sitting there quiet, and Lil Rell said, man, just keep at it, man. Just keep at it. I remember seeing it like, this is the worst shit. And I quit that night. I quit comedy that night. So that was the worst.
You quit comedy that night?
I quit comedy 6, 7 times. Who hasn't quit comedy?
I know. We've all taken hiatuses, I like to call them. Hiatuses.
I quit. I said, I'm done. I didn't want to do this. Because I had a degree. I don't need this shit.
Yeah.
You know
how long ago was that?
Because I got to be over 10 years now.
Yeah, I was going to say, how long have you been doing stand-up now, if you include the breaks and everything?
Oh, if I include the breaks, maybe 10, 11. 12, 11, 12.
It's been a long time because I met you at least 8 years ago when I had my show at Comedy Store. I miss having that show, man. It was 3 years of, that was a fun.
It was a good show.
But, it's a lot of work. I don't think people realize how much work. I mean, because you've had the roast battle, and thankfully it has such a big following, and you don't really have to push it.
We got really lucky, yeah.
You got really lucky.
I mean, I tell this to people all the time. That was our secret. We didn't push it.
You didn't push it, yeah.
I knew comics were the best audience.
Yeah.
Comics spread, this shit's hot, this shit is hot, blah, 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 blah. Everybody wants stage time. So I'm like, okay, listen, everybody wants to perform at the Belly Room. We have access to the Belly Room. We get to dictate who gets to perform at the Belly Room. Every comic wants to, comics are whores for time.
Yeah.
I can provide you time. Yeah. Right? And I can provide you to get up in the Belly Room at the Comedy Store. And I'm not going to promote it. I'm going to have you guys come, open mic. I'm going to talk about it. You all want to go there and shit on your boys and friends. So it's like I just made it a party. It was a hang every week. Sure. And that hang turned into a show. But I didn't want to promote it. I wanted word of mouth. Yeah. And so it got to the point where the show would be packed. If you missed it, you just missed it. So when you hear you can't get in, it's packed. What? I can't get in. I'm going to make sure next week I'm there early. I remember we didn't start the show till midnight. People would be in line at 8 o'clock. I remember that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's because I've gone a handful of times, especially when I have friends, roasting each other. But there were times I would show up, couldn't get in the back, and I'm a comic, and you just fucking go downstairs, get a beer, and be like, I'll just see everybody as they start trickling out. Exactly. So we got lucky. Yeah, for sure. Would you say that there was times when you were younger that you fucked up so bad that you never thought you'd be where you are now? In comedy? Period. Yeah. Yeah, not even on a physical level. I was just a dumb kid, man. Natasha. I was just a stupid kid. That's called being a kid. Natasha, my senior year of high school was the best year of my life. To that point. People say high school sucked. I had a great time. Yeah, I did too. People say high school was fun. It's like school and people bully. No, I wasn't no bully. I had a great time. I got into fights, whatever. I had a lot of young ladies like me. I played sports. I was on the drill team. I was captain of that. I have a homecoming court. Sorry, I don't know people's these stories about they hate their life and they were frustrated and wanted to kill themselves in high school. I had a ball. Yeah, I did too. I thought high school was the best time. It was a ball. I didn't drink or smoke. I just had a good time. You didn't drink or smoke at all? I didn't drink or smoke. Nope. I didn't do shit till I was 21. Wow. I had so much fun. I didn't think about my future. Yeah. I wasn't thinking about college. I wasn't thinking about, I was just like, I'm going to just do this all year. I'm going to go hang with my buddy Rob every day and Neil, we're going to party and kick it and we'll find jobs. That's how I was thinking at the time. Yeah. I don't know, I just do something. I'm going to write. So I'm going to be an intern for a radio station. I'll just be on the radio or something. Who knows? Who cares? I'm having a great time. So my mother's like, are you stupid? So my mother, she gets all these colleges, applications, whatever. And she wakes me up Saturday morning for the SAT. She had registered me and everything. She takes me to the SAT place. And she makes me do it, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't get a good SAT score, but I had so many homecoming, sports, all this other extracurricular activities that got me into college. Yeah. Even with my whack SAT score, I had a good English and a horrible math, but it got me into college. So I don't want to say accidentally, but I wasn't really focused on going to college. Yeah. My mother was like, "You're going to go to college," and then I went to college, which was great. And then I look back, like my second year in college, all my buddies who were just hanging out had shitty jobs they hated. They had kids. Some had to go forced to go to the military, had to go fight in the wars. Yeah. The fun was over. I had no idea that ends. That ends. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And I literally, if I didn't have a mother who forced it on me, because I didn't want to do this, I was like, I'm good. Yeah. I was working at McDonald's, McDonald's is cool. I might get a manager position. Yeah. I hadn't thought about the future, yeah. And I could have literally just been... You could have been stuck. It would have been the same as not graduating high school at all. Yeah. I would have been like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So I look back like, damn, I almost fucked up. So your mom's definitely a role model. She's I mean, you know, everybody's mother should
Everybody's
be.
mom should be.
She
should be.
But
not always the case.
But it wasn't like it wasn't a conversation.
Yeah.
It was like
she was just like, you're gonna do that.
You're going to SATs tomorrow. Get some sleep. You're going to take the SAT. You're gonna do well.
Yeah.
That was it. There was no plan. I didn't go to any colleges to go look at the campus.
Right.
I didn't speak with my guidance counselor about what schools I wanted. That was just you going to, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That was it. I decided I want to go to college senior year, September.
Right.
That's when
and then you just go.
And then I took SAT October or something. That was it. I never had plans for it. I think, but what the fuck was I thinking? Yeah.
I mean, when you look back at, like, I love looking back at life and all these, like, little milestones you don't really give a lot of credit to, but you're like, God, if that moment hadn't happened, I might have still, you might have still just been, like, kicking it, writing for some dumb, you know, like, and now people have experienced your brain on TV. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I just had no plans. And even in college, man, when it comes to comedy, I'm going to go off on a tangent.
No, totally.
My best year in my life after my senior high school was my senior year of college.
Oh, nice.
I was having a fucking ball. To be completely honest, I was fucking everything that walks. I was drinking. I was partying. I had decent grades. I had great friends. I had a great apartment. I was paying $500 a month to have an apartment off campus. I had to do a party every weekend. I was Van Wilder.
Oh, fuck.
And I was going to stay there.
Yeah.
I had a campus job. I was a head of a telemarketing company with all students.
So you're making all money.
Making money. I'm making my little $500 a week, whatever that was. I'm good.
But that's great for an apartment that only costs $500 and in college. Everything's $1.
I was living the life, Natasha Pearl Hansen.
So crazy.
And then senior year comes. I don't graduate because I'm like, I want to chill. I want to keep partying. I could. My guidance counselor said you can take 10 credits over the summer and graduate now in May. I said no. I'll come back next semester. I'm chilling. So I literally just stayed another semester, had more fun. I looked around, everybody was older than me. I was the old guy at the bar. I was the older guy that all my roommates were gone. You know what I mean? My friends. And I gotta do something. And I had a buddy, Anto, my best friend, who went to San Diego State. He said, you gotta just come move here. And
San Diego.
He was in San Diego.
Ah.
And he's my best friend from high school. He was the only one of our crew who was thinking about college. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he went to San Diego State. And he's like, he's come out to Cali, blah, blah, blah. I had a buddy, Noah, from with the Maryland. He's like, yo, I'm moving to LA. Let's just go to Maryland and see what happens. Go to LA. I was like, all right. And I went and got a job working for Dell Computers, hooking up computers for like 6 months. Got my little money, paid for the apartment, took $700, moved to LA, and that was it.
I was just going to ask you how you, like, what made you decide LA over San Diego? San Diego's a fucking bomb.
Because I knew I still had the writing, hip hop hosting thing.
Yeah.
And I lived in New York for a summer, for an internship. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to go to LA. It's a new place. See what happens.
It's warm.
I'll try it for a year.
Yeah.
And I've been here ever since.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's crazy.
So let's talk about how you started to kind of transition from Dell Computers into actually working in comedy.
Let's not even count Dell as I feel like I'm talking too much.
No. This is what the point of having you as a guest is.
Well, it is a podcast.
It is a podcast. It's literally only on the way here, by the way, my grandma and I are best friends, and I'm like, one of my series that I'm pitching is about me and her. And I was calling her on the way, and of course she's talking to me about her hemorrhoids because that's what grandmas have to talk about. But then she was like, okay, so you're on the way to the podcast. And I talk about this in my stand-up because she's traveled with me a couple times. And like explaining a podcast to an old person is so fucking hard. Like it's so hard. She was like, so what is this thing you have? It's called Future Role Models, right? And I was like, no, it's called Future Role Model, but close enough. And I'm like, she's like, so it's how do I look at it? And I was like, no, it's a podcast. It comes out every week. It's just audio.
Yeah.
So it's you talking, and I was like, yeah, it's like a TV episode, but it's like just the audio. And she's like, well, why would anybody want to watch that? I'm like, they don't watch it, Grandma. No, you don't frustrate yourself. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so talk away. Needless to say, Grandma will eventually hear this and be like, oh, that's what a podcast is. But it's fun to hear how people kind of, because like everybody's transition into LA is so rough. Like I've never heard, not one person has been like, oh yeah, this move was so easy. Yeah. You know? So, and especially when you're kind of coming in from like making steady money doing something, into like trying to dabble in entertainment and figure out what your path is in entertainment? Like what was it like for you to finally discover being on stage for the first time, or how did you happen upon that?
I was working at Cheesecake Factory and I got fired. I hate to be, I'm like such a stereotypical comedian.
You were a Cheesecake Factory kid and I was an Applebee's kid. I was a Gordon Biersch. I got fired at Gordon Biersch, Pasadena, 6 weeks in. I got a job immediately at the Cheesecake. My roommate worked at Cheesecake, got fired 6 weeks in. I'm driving my roommate's car. I had this shitty Bronco. I'm driving this car home to my place in Burbank. I just got fired, got all the white on. I see the Ha Ha Comedy Club and I go, I'm like, there's nothing. This is the lowest I'm gonna get. I'm probably gonna move back home. Who knows what the fuck? I pull up. I go in there. There's a girl on stage. She's not that funny. And it's like 4 comics in there. None of them that funny, right? The difference was when she got off stage, they handed her some money, and I go, so you can suck. All these people kind of suck. They're not. And you got paid for this? You can get paid? Yeah,
now,
exactly.
I want to be like, I wanted to be a great artist and write compelling, prolific comedy. No. Horrible comics got paid to do comedy at the Ha Ha Comedy Cafe in North Hollywood. And I was like, well, I could do a little bit of that. I could do that. I've been funny with my friends. You know, we all think we're just fucking.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
The next day I write just a bunch of shit. I don't even know if it was a set. It was like 5 minutes. It was stupid hack. It was whatever the hacky shit was of the moment. And I went up and my personality is it was all personality. It was no jokes.
Yeah.
But I got like 3 laughs.
Yeah.
Right? And I go, fuck. Oh, shit. I should have got a laugh for everything. I should have got 6. I had 6 jokes.
Yeah.
I didn't know 3 laughs on your first time. It's not horrible. It ain't great, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not a complete fail.
So I was kind of upset, like, nah, man, that shit was funny, blah, 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 blah. Like, right? So I came back next week with like 10 things I wanted to say, and 5 I got and someone like, you funny, man. And I go, nah, I should have got more. The 3rd time I come, I want to get more laughs and it's still not getting the laughs I want. I want more laughs. I'm thinking this is shit. Because one of my friends, I'm the funniest guy in the world.
Sure. And you want laughs where you want them too. Yeah. You want certain things to hit a certain way.
And this guy comes up to me and he's like, hey, man, can you do this improv show for the Christmas party? It was like Christmas time at this point. And I go, sure. And he's like, we're going to pay you, blah, 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 blah. Little did I know, people already thought I was a comedian. I kept coming up every week thinking I'm failing, but I'm doing decently for an open micer to get 3 laughs out of 5 jokes is pretty decent.
Yeah.
So I was already doing mics, not knowing I was doing mics, and then I was already offered money for improv thing. So I was like, oh shit, I guess I'm in the game. And then I was like, all right, let me go shoot. I need to shoot my 5 minutes now on a video camera. You know what I'm saying? I had the Instagram joke, the bitch we together. I was popping. You know what I'm saying? And then and then it was just like, this is what I do now. I come here every day at 5 o'clock and I fucking do open mics. That was it.
That's fucking awesome.
That's what I do.
Ha Ha Comedy Club, man, where it all began.
Ha Ha Comedy Club, man. People got their issues with them. I'm like, they were the first place to fuck with me. You know, yeah, you got to pay, but you got to pay in New York too. People always say that. You got to pay everywhere. Well,
that's the thing I try to describe or like explain to people that don't work in comedy. Comedy and music are very hard. I think music's harder, but people that are in any other category of entertainment think comedy is the hardest. Yeah. So I mean, just kind of tomato, but with comics, there's especially in LA, I mean, there's thousands of people that consider themselves comedians. And if you've ever been funny on a TV show, you're a comedian too. You know, and you can show up to any comedy club and you have, you know, your series regular and you can do stand up and people will like you and they'll laugh. But like there is that whole thing where people that actually, like I was talking with Godfrey about this at JFL, like if you're not focusing on stand up, you people in stand-up don't respect you quite the same. Yeah. You know, and that's just true. Yeah. So, I mean, but there's thousands of us here. So, I mean, if you're new, I remember being new to LA and thinking, oh, I don't want to do bringer shows where you have to like bring people. Yeah. But it's part of the dues you have to pay to actually, like, you don't deserve anything.
You don't deserve shit. I never understood that. Like, people ask me, why do you still do mics? Why do you still I love doing bringer shows. At the end of the day, these people are bringing these shows and, I'm getting to perform in front of a lot of people. You don't deserve anything. Nobody owes you.
Exactly.
Who the fuck are you? Yeah. If you're doing bringing shows, it's probably because no one's coming to see you. Yeah. And you're new, so you got to help bring. The club's supposed to promote people who aren't proven, probably bad comics, the club don't owe you that.
Exactly.
And I've had these conversations. Comics like, nah, man, that's their job. No, their job is to put up Sebastian Maniscalco and motherfucking
somebody who's. That's the thing is know your place. Like you have to know. Like because I was offered. We'll talk about Europe because I know you're about to go back to Europe, but I was offered a headlining gig in Scotland in the beginning of November.
Yeah.
And I turned it down and I was like, we have to do this in the spring because I'm working out my new 45. Do I have 45 to an hour of material, period, over the span of my existence? Yeah. But like, I don't want to talk about shit I talked about 4 years ago. So I said, I have to work this out a little bit more. And then by the time that I come to you, I'll have a full fleshed out weekend. Yeah. And at least I'll have an hour of a cushion. So if you want me to do 45 and people in Scotland really don't like this topic, I can veer. You know, I need to be able to have like some cushion. But when I tell other people that, they're like, oh, you should have just done it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to set myself up for, and I just trust time. Like I'm not in a rush with this career. But yeah, like how did you get involved with starting to go overseas? Like that's a cool thing that you've been starting to do.
I don't know. I just first time was I did a USA tour, a USO tour, military tour. Joey Medina had me open for him, so we went to Japan. That was great. And now it's just people watch. I was on a show called Superior Donuts for 2 seasons. Yeah, I mentioned that you guys didn't watch.
Yep.
So you know these shows get international love, and so we reach out. And we can get, local bookings and stuff. And I did Conan, so people kind of follow American stuff.
Yeah,
so
you've done big stuff.
I've done some stuff. So you can kind of follow these stuff in Europe. And different people ask me to come out, blah, blah, blah. And then I just like I'll make a 2-week thing of it. Like I'll do, you know what I mean? Like I don't go to Sweden just for whatever. Well, I'm doing that for France next month. But I ain't gonna lie, I just want to go to Europe. So
yeah,
you're gonna book me to come to Europe.
Same.
I'll hang out in Europe and go do your show.
Yeah.
We're whores for comedy.
We are, and that's what I was telling you about in the back. Like every time I get offered a thing in New York, I'm like, I can book a lot in New York. So you give me one good thing, I will come there and I will book a week around it. You know, you and if you have the travel bug too, you can totally make the two coincide. What was have you had any weird experiences on stage overseas? Because that's always been my
overseas. They're way more experimental.
Interesting.
So you'll have. I saw a lot more Andy Kaufman kind of acts.
Like more charactery.
And then they would do these Andy Kaufman acts where they would try to make the crowd hate them and dig themselves out of the hole, or just they do a fake fight. A lot of Andy Kaufman type shit.
Yeah.
Like,
interesting.
All right. Next up is a American comedian, Rell Battle. And I got to go back to that shit.
Yeah.
And, that makes you readjust, whatever. But they take a lot of crazy chances out there.
That's cool.
That I don't know if American audiences would be cool with. I don't know. But I don't mind it, whatever.
Yeah, I think
I've done black rooms. You can't scare me with your with your weirdo humor.
I mean, well, and especially I feel like there's there's places in, like we were saying, Berlin is people speak English better there than they do in the States, which is kind of sad. But I have German friends and I'm like, how do you know that word? What does that mean?
Yeah.
But what do you think you have on the docket next that you're most excited about? Or are you just kind of rolling with the punches?
I am, I don't know if I could even say this, but I'll say it.
You could allude to something if you need to.
I worked with Will Smith on a project.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Bro.
I worked with Will on a project coming out in January. I don't know how much I can say about it, but it's going to be funny. It's going to be cool.
Amazing.
It was a complete honor to help do some work with him, and it's going to show a different side of Will, and I don't know how much I can say. It's that's cracking.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. You think it's going to be a good year for you?
I hope so.
I think 2018 was like a rough year for a lot of people where it's just like this limbo year. I feel like
I had fun. People always, I don't mean to be that guy. High school's great. I had a great year. You know what? You make your happiness, man.
Yeah, it's true.
I really believe you. I truly believe you make your happiness. I don't care what's going on in your life. And Puffy says this all the time. We got the same 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? We have the same 24 hours a day. We have the same 7 days a week. And things can be bad. You wake up every day. You can decide to be happy. You can decide to go do what you want to do. I just think about the time we spend online or reading stuff or YouTube. You can get up and go, you know what? I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm not like how I'm looking. I'm just gonna go to the gym 5 days a week now. I'm just gonna start eating healthy. you know what? I don't like my comedy. I'm just going to get up every day at 8 o'clock. I'm going to write for 30 minutes every day.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, you know what? I'm not getting acting work. I'm just going to take this little $200 that I got I could have spent on shoes. I'm going to go take this acting class for a month. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to send these emails. So it's you can determine your happiness. The day I decided to start waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning and pursuing my career every single day, everything moved forward for me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
Well,
and,
that's what I was just talking to somebody else about too, because it kind of astounded me how many comics actually don't treat their job like a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I mean, we're lucky that our job can go with us places. Like it's not a 9 to 5. We can do a lot of it in our sweatpants. We're both in sweatpants right now. I mean, but ever since I lived in Chicago, I would get up and treat it like a day of work. Like I do this many emails, I write this, I do the, and it's a job.
Yeah.
It's not like you just work for an hour at night and go hang out and drink beers and that's your gist. Like,
this is a job, and it's the best job in the world.
It's so awesome.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna get up 8 o'clock in the morning to walk around my neighborhood and write jokes. Yeah, that's what I do. A lot of my friends are at an office gig. They sit in 40 hours of traffic, an hour every day.
Listening to these podcasts.
I get to tell jokes. Yeah, I get to tell jokes and travel the world. I'm not saying it as if I'm better than anyone. It's just that when you have a job like this, whether it's music or acting, whatever, take full advantage of that. Everybody doesn't get to do this shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then we are a lot of us are depressed and go through depressing shit. But it's like, I'd rather be depressed because I can't get a gig and I can't get into Montreal than be depressed. I can't get a raise working at the freaking coffee hut or whatever the
exactly.
fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and the biggest people in the world are the hardest workers. Who works harder than Kevin Hart? Who works harder than The Rock? Yeah. Marlon Wayans. Who works harder than Tiffany Haddish? Like, people, everybody knows Tiffany's story. Yeah. So,
her story's amazing.
Yeah. I just think we make our own success, man, in a sense. You know
I think it's true. And you have to be okay with things taking time. Like, give yourself credit for, like every year looking, like list the things you've accomplished and give yourself credit for them because it takes so much time to do stuff. Like,
you got that thing on the wall. I got every year I got 2008, 2009. I have a chart. I have a paper I keep there every year that stays all year of what I'm doing, what I want to do, and what I've accomplished. I have for the last 8 years I started doing it. I have this thing, make sure that every year there's some kind of progress. So why didn't you do this? I had like last January of this year, I had late night set, shoot a show, blah, 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 blah. I did you know what I mean? Yeah. Every day is going to that actual goal. What are you doing today to go to that goal? After 10 o'clock, you can go chase girls and drink, blah, blah, blah. What did I do today to get to that goal? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
What are you going to do?
Dude, mic drop on that. Where can people find you on social media?
I'm Rell Battle everything.
Rell Battle everything. Minus the everything, but everything is Rell Battle.
RELLBATTL, yeah.
And where can people tune into the shows that you currently have out?
You can go to...
And where can they find Superior Donuts if they have not watched it?
You got CBS All Access. I think it's up there.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm still getting checks, so I guess it's up there on the internet. You can look on ComedyCentral.com, look up Roast Battle, see the show Roast Battle. Is that everything? Or if you're in New York, you can go to the live Roast Battle show Thursdays at 10 at New York Comedy Club or the Belly Room at the Comedy Store if you're in LA.
On Tuesdays.
Roast Battle live on Tuesdays. So no, Roast Battle New York is Thursdays. Roast Battle LA is Tuesdays. Yeah.
Awesome. And you can find me at NPH Comedy. You can follow the podcast at Future Role Model. And you can follow the network at Comedy Pop-Up or at CPU Podcasts. And we are out.